to another episode of Colivers Club. In this episode, we're going to talk with Piotrek Bodera. He has a website for telling digital nomad stories where he shares different interviews with different nomads, and he also talks about different tools that he uses for his travels. He has been traveling for a long time.
I met Piotrek in Coliving, in my first Coliving experience. He's a super interesting and fun guy, and one of my best nomad friends I have met. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and see you in the next one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Colivers Club. I'm here today with Piotrek Bodera. Piotrek is a digital nomad with a background in tourism and web development since 2005. He hosts Nerd on Tour, a podcast where he interviews digital nomads around the world. Hello, Piotrek. How are you?
Hello, Cesar. I'm very good. I'm excited to be here with you.
Me too, yeah. And we met in Tenerife a while ago, right? 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, it starts to be fuzzy to remember exactly the moment when we are meeting with every person. And I think it's because the community in Tenerife that we are both enjoying and we are part of, it's quite big at this point. Yeah. So I think, it was about 2 years ago.
Wait, you don't have a calendar appointment with the date registered? Today I met Seth. Our anniversary, man. It's very important.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I definitely should run this kind of journal, dates and minutes, and like how much time we spend every day, and dancing salsa and those things.
Yeah, I think our very first interactions was dancing, right? Because were you a guest in Coliving where we met when at the moment I remember seeing you in the first time in ecstatic dance in Tenerife. I think maybe you were living around and then came to Nine for this, perhaps.
Yeah, my whole period, about 3 years in Tenerife. Most of my time there I spent in Nine Coliving. Very great community and amazing place. I do recommend everyone to check it out. And I had those periods where I was still living in La Ortava, in the city where Nine is, and every now and then I was coming for some events. And then I was living in Puerto de la Cruz, which is right next to it. And I think we met on one of those events. Ecstatic dance is definitely one of my favorite because it's like releasing your childhood imagination, but in form of your movement. Yeah, and I do remember that I started as a kid to dance and imitate Michael Jackson and others, but I want to preserve it, and I think the ecstatic dance is one of the best ways to allow yourself and others, and then have fun and play with your own bodies to whatever crazy music is there in the background. Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, I remember you made an impression on me because it was my first static dance. And I remember seeing you dancing so freely. I was like, wow, that's super cool. And to me, letting go of this, I don't know if it's shame or this, oh no, I need to make moves that they're nice to look at, or breaking off that barrier is super difficult, at least to me. I don't know if it was the same for you. What can you tell us about?
Yeah, definitely. It's not that I have a switch in my mind and I flip it. I can do whatever. This voice is always present, and I think I had some period in my life where I was a bit ashamed of it, or I was trying to shy away or think about it. Oh yeah, that was this childhood behavior. Yeah, that you can move like this or imitate Michael Jackson. But I think at this point I integrated, and I am quite proud of having this hobby that doesn't require any gadgets, that you can do almost anywhere to almost any music. I'm a bit picky, so I prefer to enjoy, what is being played, and then I can be in the flow, in the mood, and then if others are also doing that, that's my perfect environment where I want to try as much as I can to release this energy and not to be in my head, because that's the worst part where you stop moving, or where you being like so self-aware that you do not enjoy it. You just second guess of like, oh, what if I move my hips too much? What if they think that I am this or that? And like no, I think ecstatic dance especially is this type of a dance where it's even like mandatory to forget about anything you know about dancing or moving, and just do whatever you want.
Yeah, the mind kills the being, and it's nobody thinks anything. It's just you, right? Who is second guessing yourself. Like nobody cares, or at least this is a safe space where the idea is that you only care about how you move and your interpretation of the music. And to me, I would like to participate in another static dance, because I've been through a personal journey these past years, and I feel like I dance now better because I connect more with myself. So it's super interesting to me, this dynamic.
Yeah, and I enjoy a lot seeing you dancing salsa or other Latino dances where I really not good at, like, because of I
Not
don't
yet,
have
not yet.
exactly enough experience, and I haven't spent enough time in the Latin speaking countries where like the culture of Latin culture is predominant, and where the dance is just so natural that so many people do it, and then you can slowly absorb it. I think everyone can find their own safe space or their section of music, and then the moves that they feel most okay in their head, and then start to expanding it more. For me, it was hip hop, and still is. Yeah, like you can pick any other music, but if I hear proper bangers, like the songs that I
Skrillex, for example, or no,
yeah,
Skrillex, no, it's not hip hop on its own, but
exactly. It's
I
a bit
saw that it was your favorite
yeah.
song last year.
Exactly. So of course, once you start with hip hop or hip hop as a dance genre, and then you can dance hip hop to other genres of music, like some electronic drum and bass, or some house. I really enjoy it, and I like to explore and then be open. And even if I would have a chance to try, I don't know, ballet, because why not?
That's so cool. And I think being open minded is also because I can see totally the correlation about being open minded while dancing and towards dancing and everything else, right? Like traveling. And yeah, it's super interesting to me, correlation.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. I think it's very related where you are in your mind, because even before you leave your own home country, you have to open the mind that there are other possibilities, and people can live and speak with other language, and do their life, organize their life completely different from what you know. And this is my drive, why I wanted to go further and explore, and then become a digital nomad to actually live in those countries long term. And then that was my way to sink in and to explore the cultures.
And you've always been interested in tourism, right? You have a background with that.
So the tourism is my hack because since I was a kid, and knowing that the other cultures exist, I wanted to find a way, how can I do that? Because the perception was that traveling is expensive. And how can you do this, just pay the very expensive flight to go to Japan? That was for me the first country outside of Europe that was this destination from my dreams, that I really want to achieve it. And I was lucky enough when I was 21 with a group of friends who are also super crazy about Japan to fly there. And we organize everything by ourselves. Yeah. So already at this point, I had a few years experience working in travel industry. First, it was like a caretaker on youth camps. So with kids and teenagers, some like sport-oriented camps, or also Japanese culture-oriented camps. That was something that I helped to start as a business in this company, in this tour operator. And it's still ongoing. Yeah, I'm still really happy that the theme of Japan and the love for Japanese culture is ongoing. And later on, I moved to other destinations like Italy, Australia. I also went to Japan many times over with other friends, and I was working as a tour leader. Yeah, so the person that goes in the front of the group, usually
with umbrella.
Exactly, umbrella,
Yes.
some flag.
Which color was it?
My company use blue with like a yellow, white, sign, and that was quite visible because I'm tall, so I'm already visible. But then even with the flag or this umbrella, I'm like, always easy to find even in a crowd. And I really enjoyed it. Like I had this time where I accumulate a lot of experience because you have to do it. Yeah, you are like very tight with time, and you have to complete the itinerary. I know 10 different things every day that you have to see and watch and visit. Everything has to be on time, and uh, the customers, the tourists, they need to feel that they are on vacation. Yeah, so they are not being rushed. They are not on a historic lecture. I'm not their parent or some sort of um, a soldier or someone who's dictating them like how much time they have or what they can do. It's more like guiding. Yeah, so the guide or tour guide in that sense has to be a person that creates this nice vibe and that people follow me. And in total, I was doing that for about 15 years.
And now co-livings. Well,
yes,
for a while. There's some news regarding that.
Yeah, I think it was something that already was in my mind, that I didn't want to stay in the travel industry as a tour leader for the rest of my life. I knew that there are other possibilities, and I wanted to be in countries that I'm so fascinated about longer. Yeah, and have time to actually get to know my friends that are not Polish like you and many other Spanish friends in Tenerife. So the moment pandemic started, I knew that this is the break. Yeah, this is the point of time where I'm not going back to working in travel industry, because nobody knows when it will come back and how it will come back. Yeah, and what shape, and if the groups will be even as big as they were before. So I decided, okay, now I want to work full time as a web developer and run my own business in more sustainable way. So of course there were some ups and downs, but eventually I am at this point where I can choose any place on the planet where I want to be. Currently it's Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and just work from here. And the traveling is much more slower, yeah, and much more giving me time to explore and to enjoy the local cultures, like here in Malaysia, or next month I will be in Bali in Indonesia.
What difference do you see between the travel industry and the co-living industry?
Definitely the difference is in the perspective of what the customers want to do and what they want to experience. I was working in a mass tourism, so I was very aware that it's unsustainable and sooner or later it will break. pandemic was definitely this check on in terms of how many people can enter like the museums of Vatican, for example. Yeah, one of the most popular tourist destination in the world, and they were never designed to accommodate millions of people, literally, that are visiting every year. So this is a different approach when someone has a week or 2 weeks at most of their vacation, and they want to cramp as much experiences or places that they want to visit to take a quick picture and run to the next one. So I would say those are the traditional tourists. And now I am more involved and enjoying as a customer the space of Colivings, which is much more directed on digital nomads. I would say especially those nomads who want to spend quality time in destinations around the world. Yeah, so luckily we have more and more co-livings popping up around the world, and thanks to MapMelon, yeah, this is one of the best places to find the next co-living you want to explore. And the customers are not tourists. Yeah, the digital nomad who are coming there, and they didn't buy the package tour, back in their country, and they have this itinerary, yeah, that the day first I do this, day second we go with this group and visit this museum and whatnot. Of course, you can do this. Yeah, it's an extra kind of activity during your stay, but the most important element for the co-livings, and from my experience, this is definitely the key to understand why they are being created and they attract people, is the community itself. Yeah, the possibility to meet other people, to find connections, to find friends, maybe even find some partners, romantic partners. So this is the key drive, and I'm so glad to see that is actually happening. And we all need to figure out on the way how to do it, like effectively, because it's still such a brand new industry that there are no blueprints, no books, no templates to follow. So everything is just being created.
Are you a remote worker or digital nomad looking for the perfect co-living experience? Meet MapMelon, your all-in-one platform for booking community-focused co-livings with exclusive deals and promotions. With co-livings all around the world, MapMelon offers a lot of options for every budget and lifestyle. You can also track your friends' plans and share your own, and never miss out on an opportunity to reconnect. And finally, you can also stay up to date with the latest events, workshops, and job opportunities in the co-living community. So sign up today, discover your next co-living, and join a global network of Colivers.
And do you think there will be templates or a way to go with co-living? I mean, of course, there's some general ideas about co-living is, but I think people in co-livings, they're very creative, and every place has its own thing. And to me, that's also magical. And it also makes sense not to make any plans before going to a co-living, because you might need to cancel everything, because a co-living is an entity of its own, and the people and the community. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I'm here now in Burgas co-living in Bulgaria. And yesterday was my first day, full day, and I went to the spa. Did I have plans to go my first day to the spa? No, but people here wanted to, and it's amazing. And then we had a movie night, and then that's it, and it's so super nice and interesting to go with the flow, which I think when you are in the tourism industry, you don't go with the flow. You have an exact rules and guidelines, and the schedule is the schedule, and that's what matters, no? Because it wouldn't make sense, or it couldn't be possible to do it any other way, because there's a time constraint of you have 1 week of holidays or 2 weeks of holidays, but you don't travel while working, which is totally different.
Yeah, and I think before we go further about the template of the co-living, you also met people in those co-livings who are completely new to the idea. And I love the effect of how the co-living is changing their mind, because they also follow in some sense the traditional model of working in their company, and they only have a week or two vacation. But this time they decided, okay, I read a lot, I saw some Instagram stories or other reels and other media that influenced me enough to try it, and let's go. Let's, go to the co-living on the first day. Let's go to the spa with strangers and see what happens. And then they realized that the concept of the co-living is so fulfilling and it's so interesting. It's so different from everything else that was before, that they want to become the remote workers full time. Yeah, because previously maybe they had only some allowance, some like a few months in a year in their company, or some hybrid or any other setup. And now they realize, okay, so what if I stay in this co-living for 1 month? Yeah. Or what if there are other colleagues that I want to visit after this one? Yeah. And then meet even more people. But to do this, I need to be sure that my work can support me and, I can do this continuously. And then so often they find a way, which is amazing. Yeah. I think this is the biggest change that actually opens the mind of people that were thinking that it's not possible. Yeah, because their industry or their boss or their company, everything was against them. Sometimes it means that you have to, just leave your company, your current one, or like in your case, you become a freelancer, and now you can full time do this and explore a new path. But yeah, I think this is the most amazing co-living effect. Do you agree?
Totally. I quit my job 3 weeks ago and started a freelancing career because to me, co-living means a lot of things, and it just makes me happy. I'm being able to explore all these amazing places, traveling slowly, going with the flow, meeting these amazing communities, and even getting to meet again with people I've met in my previous life, no? Because it feels like every co-living I go, it's a new life, and I can reinvent myself and yeah, grow. I think co-living to me means growth. I don't know what it means to you. I would like to actually ask you what co-living means to you.
In my case, it was the safe harbor, in a sense that I started doing that before the pandemic. Yeah, so the hatchery place here in Kuala Lumpur was the first destination that I found, and that I want to try. What is this new concept? Yeah, and even if I would like it or not, I met some of the greatest people and my best friends that I am still in touch with, and I'm lucky to remain in touch with them, even though that the distance is quite great. And actually, just going to Bali next month, I will reunite with some of those friends that I met about 4 years ago, and we didn't have a occasion to meet again because of the turbulence caused by the pandemic or some other changes. So for me, the community part is the most integral element. Why I want to go and spend time in each co-living, and then especially during the first years of the pandemic, where I was staying in Nine, I felt that this keeps me sane. Yeah, because there were issues with my work, there were issues with the whole world, issues with like going back to my home country, because like why should I go there when it's like winter, and then again the traveling was not advised, so maybe I should just stay put. And why not? Beautiful islands with great people, and why would you want to move if you already found this amazing community and the paradise? So in that sense, yeah, this is definitely the co-living for me. But I wanted to just answer the question about the template. Yeah,
Oh yeah, true. Let's go back to it. Yeah.
You probably heard about Selena,
Oh,
the
I
network
think so.
of
Yeah.
the. So
Yeah.
in short, they are bankrupt right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's news from a few days ago that the whole concept of like a template co-livings failed. And it's not that I am some enemy of that particular company. It's just my own experience, and people who I met on the way were practically every person who tried going and staying in Selena didn't feel that was right. Yeah, for some reason that the people were great that they were meeting, but the whole notion of their drive for money and their fabulous ideas of what should be the co-living, and they are expanding globally, and they are this unicorn, blah blah blah, just failed because whatever, mismanagement or some other bad decisions, or maybe because in my view there is no template that will be universal. Yeah, like I often compare co-livings to restaurants, and the best restaurants are not the chain global brands that people recognize, but they know that the quality will be average. Yeah, like if someone likes McDonald's, then wherever you would go in the world, it's always the same average. Yeah, it's not a high end cuisine with amazing different tastes, blah blah blah, because they are not aiming for this. And that's what I am like looking. Yeah, wherever I'm going to any country, I always try to go to a local small cafe or local small restaurants, because the the template is that the people who are running it, they have to do a great job. That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think
I
co-living
think
is the same.
I think there's also a correlation of with the analogy of restaurants. If you were to eat at your own restaurant every single day of your life, would you eat there? And with a co-living, a true co-living, the answer is yes, because most owners, this is also a passion project for them. They build these places because they want to experience it. It's, of course, it needs to be sustainable money wise, but it's more about what it entails and the meaning to it. So that's, for example, that's why we ask people in this podcast, what is co-living to you? Because there's not a single answer, as there's not a template.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe because I'm a foodie and I really enjoy different cuisines and finding the little details that I like in each one of them. I don't eat meat for over 10 years already. So for me, it's particularly important to find something in each place where I go that is not meat based, or it's not the first dish that you would find on your Google search results, or not something that has to be popular. Sometimes it's even a niche thing that the locals only eat occasionally, but the moment you discover it, and the moment you realize, oh my god, this is the best. Yeah, this is like the taste of the place. Yeah, like even if you would try to import it, for example, jackfruit, it's something that I discovered in Indonesia a few years back. The one that is cooked, that looks like literally pieces of chicken. And when I eat it the first time, I was like, "Are you sure it's not meat?" They're like, is there some miscommunication? And no, like later on, I realized that the jackfruit, when you cook it and when you cut it, like it has those chunks that are very juicy, and a lot of this color, like the gravy that it gives, can be mistaken by a broth of chicken, but actually it's just a fruit that is native to this part of the world. And you can freeze it, you can wrap it, you can make some ice creams or whatever, and then try to replicate it in Europe, but it never tastes the same. Yeah, so
Chicken, ice cream chicken with.
I mean jackfruit, not
Well,
not to froze the chicken.
yes, jackfruit ice cream.
Yeah. But getting back to the co-livings, this is exactly the element that you have to find your own flavor, and the people who are running a co-living, they need to be aware that people are coming there because of the uniqueness, because of many other people were recommending, come here, come to Nine, because so many other people think them about it. And the moment you stay for a week or two, and then like, okay, now I get it.
Absolutely true. And food is so important also in a co-living, like one of the most, I think, important aspects. And also the place, right? The kitchen is where people meet, and there's a lot of conversations. And here we interviewed Marta Clark, architect, official co-living architect.
Yes.
And yeah, and you meet so many people through food and through gastronomy, and you also get a taste of the place. You just said it so well put. Because to me, it's a great interaction with the local place you are at, that you get to experience also what they eat. I don't know what's your feeling about that.
I would say that actually because of the co-livings, I learned how to cook for many people, like up to 20 people, because back in France, where we were staying in the south in Saint-Jean-de-Luz, that's close to the border of Spain, in the Basque country, there was this pop-up co-living only for friends. So friends of friends, where you had to be recommended by the owners or the couple who were in charge. And there were actually the connections that I met back in Tenerife in the Nine co-living. So we were planned to be there for 2 months, and in the first few days, the lady, a local French lady who was supposed to be our cook, she resigned because of some health reasons, and I kind of stepped in saying, would you mind if I just take charge of preparing the lunches and dinner during the work week, because currently, like, my freelance projects were not that busy at that time, and everyone said, like, okay, let's try. And I would say this was one of the most fulfilling experience, where I could share my passion of preparing especially fresh salads or some other dishes, like some curry. I mix stuff from Indian cuisines or Italian cuisines, because those two I love the most, and they really enjoyed it. The feeling where, what you were saying, just gathering together for having a meal is such an important element that dates back, I think, in every culture into this primal, and prehistoric times, where the gathering around the bonfire, or just around the table, that we have, something to eat, and then it naturally goes that we just talk to each other, and get to know to each other. This is something we cannot replicate, and especially during the times when so many people were locked up in their apartments, and the work from home was mandatory, because you cannot go to your office, you cannot meet your colleagues or other people and just chat around, next to the coffee machine. That is, I think, one of the drives where so many people now want to try the co-living, and they see the benefit of, like, this is amazing that we can go with total strangers to this house that previously could be a hostel or could be some guest house. And every guest before, or in the traditional, hotel business, you are rather staying away. There's the natural distance that, like,
Barriers,
because, like, why should you talk to some people who are, like, next to you? You shouldn't. That's the expectation in like modern world. But here, the co-living, it's in the name. We are living together. So it's natural that we cook together, or we eat together, and we share some conversation, and then build relationships.
I think this curiosity that you have about food, about traveling, I think this is the reason why, I don't know, I need to ask you, what prompted you to start your podcast, Nerd on Tour?
I had this feeling that I'm meeting amazing people on my way. And I think it dates back to my longest solo trip that I did over 10 years ago. I started in Japan, then went to Taiwan, along China and Southeast Asia, then Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, so it took me 6 months, and just with my backpack, really, just being a more like backpacker and then traveler than digital nomad. It wasn't yet a phenomenon that everyone would recognize. And I met so many amazing personalities that I wish I could share those conversations, or this, at least the vibe or some wisdom that I gained from all those interactions. And I realized that the moment I create those connections and I repeat the contact, especially with people with whom I want to remain in touch, and doesn't matter how far we are, because luckily in the digital nomad sphere, we can either organize that we meet up again in some co-livings or in any other destination, and then Mark, my good friend from Switzerland, is the best example of that, because we were supposed to meet in Tenerife about like 4 or 5 years ago. We couldn't because we are both into sailing, and it's hard sometimes to match up one boat with another. And then he actually found me in Portugal on a conference that we were both attending, but I had no clue that he's there. And he was just like scrolling through a website, and I marked myself that I will be there. So that was actually our first interaction. Then it was so great that we decided the next year we should go to Greece together, to the next version, like the next iteration of the conference. So that was already like the second country to visit together. Then was Morocco, where he also wanted to go to one of the co-livings and learn surfing together. And now here in Asia, we met in Thailand. We met first in Kolanta, in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia. Sorry, so many countries that I lost track. The point is that he was supposed to be in Japan but couldn't, and in the end, he's one of those people that I'm meeting over and over again in many countries, and most of the time we plan it to we synchronize our schedules, but sometimes it happens by accident. And I feel this is the principle of creating a great vibe, a great connection with people. And this is the moment when I decide, okay, I want to record a conversation with that person, because we already had so much time, so much quality time together, that I have those questions burning in my head that I want to share with the world. And this is, I found, the best way to record a podcast and then share it with everyone, to give the inspiration to others, to share the tips, to share also the experience, because traveling is not easy. Digital nomading is also not easy, especially if you want to do it long term and in different countries. And then you have to have your head, full in terms of like, where is your residency? Where do you pay your taxes? Where do you set up your company? How do you, manage the whole thing? Nothing of this is easy. But once you master it, once you do it many, many times, or once you just, chat with some people who know about it, then it's much easier.
To me, is the whole world is the possibility that there's so many things to see and do. And I've had the same feeling. I'm meeting these amazing people in these amazing places. And to me, there's this magical first conversation, apart from the hello, how are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Mm-hmm. But there's a point where you start meeting the other person. And to me, that conversation is just magical, and it should be shared, because I think also co-living is also about sharing, and these experiences, these lessons from these people around the world, they should be out there, and it's so nice to listen to your podcast or any other conversations from very interesting people. That that's also why to me this podcast is important to me, because I'm also getting to learn more about this digital nomad community and the people that are in it, and it's very fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did when I told you about this trip for 6 months. I knew that this is something that I can only do, maybe once in my life, or especially when I was in my 20s, and that it will be the source of a lot of stories for my, future self. But I also noticed that so many people who I'm meeting, they do have this notion of how can I preserve it? How can I um, keep this vibe or keep this version of myself that I will never forget about it? And this is definitely something that when I was even younger, as a kid or teenager, I started to meet those travelers, like professional people who either work in travel industry, or they are known to be those explorers, or like photographers, or each one of them had their own way of traveling the world. But only when I discovered the digital nomadic as a thing, as a phenomenon, as a element that can bridge my passion for technology and internet with an actual thing of traveling and being in places, then I realized that, wow, this is much more powerful than just being a backpacker, than just being a travel blogger who will tell you, the 10 best things to do in Tenerife. Like everyone has seen it.
You wouldn't expect the last one.
Yeah. Like it's I'm happy that people are doing that, and it's definitely useful. But where is the connection? Where is the relationship that we can create, and we can stay in it with it, or we can be curious about those other people living in those other places? Where I was telling you about my friend Mark from Switzerland. This is the hard part, to understand that if I'm traveling and moving from one country to another, and I don't know, for sure where I will be next year, it is also true for practically all of my best friends who are digital nomads. I cannot expect them to be here in Malaysia next time I will be here, but it doesn't mean that I will lose the connection. So Coliving is an amazing space to go together and be physically in one spot and share a meal. But then, podcasting is another dimension. And right now, we are in two different continents, yet we are speaking. We are, having the quality time and sharing our experience with the listeners. And this is in my view, the sustainable future of traveling, and then, digital nomading. Because if we cannot preserve it, if we cannot share it with others and build this culture, build the idea that it can be attainable by anyone, then it's not worth it. Like it has to have a meaning. And for me, this is running my own podcast and spending time in Colivings, talking with you. This is the best value that we can get from the whole thing that is digital nomading.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Yeah, I can
That's
totally
the worst
see that
thing in
there's
the podcasting.
Yeah, no, please, we edit this. No,
Okay.
but, you can totally see that there's emotion and thought behind your words, and to me, that's the important aspect. The connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Piotrek, it has been a pleasure having you here on Colivers Club. I think this interview is going to be reversed at some point, and I
Yes.
might be interviewed for your amazing podcast, Nerd on
Yes.
Tour. So to the listeners, please make sure to check it out. And yeah, this has been another episode of Colivers Club. Thank you, Piotrek.
Thank you very much, sir. See ya.
Bye. Bye.